49 years ago today, India was thrust into what is its darkest chapter till date in the form of the declaration of emergency. The emergency was declared by then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. And for 19 months after that, the country witnessed a clampdown on civil liberties, freedom of speech and political dissent. Indira Gandhi justified the emergency by citing a deep and widespread conspiracy against her government after the Allahabad High Court had declared her election to the Lok Sabha null and void. At that point, the apex court asked Gandhi to stay away from parliamentary proceedings. In her address, Indira Gandhi had announced that there is nothing to panic about, but the situation on the ground remained different. The emergency period was marked by various political movements and events, including the Navnirman agitation in Gujarat, Jai Prakash Narayan's movement in Bihar, and the railway strike led by George Fernandes. Meanwhile, there was also widespread censorship that was brought about in the media at that time. There were newspapers like the Indian Express that protested against government censorship by publishing a blank editorial, as you can see on your screens. The emergency witnessed the centralization of power and arrest of mass opposition leaders, including Jai Prakash Narayan, L.K. Advani, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and Morarji Desai. Prisoners were kept in illegal confinement and subjected to physical and psychological torture. Victims were denied basic necessities like food and water, and even forced to drink their own urine in some cases. One such example is Lawrence Fernandes, the brother of George Fernandes, who was arrested from his Bengaluru residence on the 1st of May 1976 at around 9 p.m. He was kept under solitary confinement under extremely unhygienic conditions. There are horrifying incidents of violence that were revealed from different parts of the country. In Ernakulam, leaders chanting Bharat Mata Ki Jai and Vande Mataram were taken away by police and beaten up by 10 to 13 constables. Heads of leaders were kept between their knees and were beaten up. In Hyderabad, leaders were stripped of their clothes, denied food and made to sleep in severe cold. In Karnataka, they practiced what was then known as the aeroplane. The victim is tied up in an aeroplane manner, wherein the victim's hands are tied behind their backs with a rope. The rope is then taken towards the ceiling with a pulley and the victim is pulled up a few feet above the ground. The victim will then hang mid-air with both their hands tied behind their backs. In Rajasthan, protesters were humiliated by making their march with "We are traitors" written on them. While Indira Gandhi has claimed that the emergency was necessary for economic development, forced sterilization drives that were spearheaded by Sanjay Gandhi raised humanitarian concerns. The period saw slum clearance programs and other such incidents too that were criticized for their authoritarian nature. The emergency was lifted when Indira Gandhi called for elections on January 18, 1977 in a similar manner to which the elections were imposed. Rather, in a similar manner to when the emergency was imposed. The general elections were the ones when the Janata Party came to power, and the emergency was later lifted on the 21st of March 1977. The emergency called by Indira Gandhi remained the core issue during those elections. The Janata Alliance won those elections, hands down, and its leader Morarji Desai was sworn in as the 4th Prime Minister of India and in fact became the oldest man to be elected as PM of this nation.